Psalm 8 in the Old Testament, hundreds of years before Jesus came, it's describing God, and it's saying that his name is majestic in all the earth. In the Bible, a person's name meant a lot more than just like a title that they had to distinguish them from other people. The name of God speaks of God's character, God's nature, what he's like. That really was at the heart of what I wanted to communicate, is answering like, why is his name majestic? Why is his name glorious? What makes a human being like us able to worship God and able to say that you are good and I want to love you, I want to worship you, and I want to proclaim that your name is majestic in all the earth. One of the disciples asked Jesus to show them the Father, to show them who God is, what he is like. Jesus said to him, he said, if you have seen me, then you have seen the Father. Like, anybody who has seen me has seen what I'm like, has seen the way I treat people, the way I heal, and the way I serve, the way I love. When you see that, you're seeing God's heart.
What God has done for us, what our Creator has done for us, to where like he's shown his full heart in coming down here and being a man of dust himself. He's shown a way that's so contrary to the world's system.
God's Son has explained to us what God is like. He's explained God's nature, God's character. It's in his willingness to sacrifice himself for us and to go to the extremes that he went to of becoming a man that we can see that, and we can understand what God's character is really like, what his nature is like, and what he thinks about us, and the love that he has for us. And I think it's in Jesus that we really see what Psalm 8 is talking about when it says that, Lord, your name is majestic in all the earth.
What I see is a creator who has spoken everything into existence at some point in the past, and he has allowed for human beings to operate under his command, under his authority, or to step outside of that and solve problems their way. And I think Majestic portrays that beautifully, and actually quite barbarically, what happens when human beings try to handle their issues and problems their way.
We're living in a world that's full of sin, disease, and war, and death, that all came because of that original sin of man.
And we look around in the world, it doesn't take a long time to realize that there's something off about just what's going on in the world.
My brother, Seth, plays a character that really is symbolizing humanity as a whole.
I was trying to portray somebody who has caught a glimpse of God, caught a glimpse of just the reality of God, that you were created for his pleasure and you were created to follow his command, and that's what brings you true meaning. And existence is to be submitted under the command of God, allowing him to be God and you to be in your proper place in submission to him. And that actually is what opens the door to life. That's what frees you to be who you are made to be. That's what you find your personality. That's where you find your ability and power to turn the other cheek.
And action. My hope is that when people watch this, it's causing their thoughts and their hearts to be moved toward the living person of Jesus, and move toward him and not toward the film itself or toward the actor who's playing him. And hold it out and let it drop. I felt like one of the best ways to do that is to try to avoid as much as possible showing the face of the actor playing him, and to kind of leave it more to subtle images of hands and the back, and never really showing the actor's face. We are on location. forgot to suntan. It's kind of cold too. How are you feeling out here, Chris? When I decided that I actually wanted to show Jesus visually in this film, I had a friend of mine who came to mind pretty quickly, and I just kind of knew that he was the guy that I definitely wanted to do it. And so I asked him about it, and he was pretty hesitant at first.
I don't think anybody can rightfully portray Jesus except himself, you know, so it's like that. I wanted to make sure if it was going to happen, I was going to pray about it and just be very honoring to him if he said yes.
I think it was just the idea of having to play the role of Jesus was pretty intimidating. Just, you know, how do you do that faithfully, and how do you do that in an appropriate way?
And I felt a lot of peace about it, so
it's awesome.
That's why I texted you and was like, yeah, let's do it.
That's awesome. I'm glad it all worked out.
Majestic's portrayal of Jesus shows a man. It shows another dust man. It shows just a person that has not come in the form of an all-powerful king. No, he's a servant. He's the servant king.
He shared in flesh and blood just like we have, that he was tempted in every way that we are. He experienced everything that it is to be a human being. It makes God so accessible to us. It takes away those feelings that he's just far away, he's distant.
He is there, and he is trying to help us, and he has helped us. It's not that he's just trying and he's off in the distance, some far distance, and we have to like really beg and plead and search for him.
It empowers us to love him. It empowers us to want to serve him. It empowers us to do what the psalmist does in Psalm 8, to truly, in spirit and truth, say that the name of the Lord is majestic in all the earth.